The Demon Slayer series welcomed its very own movie in Japan, and apparently it is one of the greatest anime movies of all times. Theaters have been fully booked despite the pandemic, and everyone in Japan seems to be obsessed with it. But is this movie worth the hype? You are watching the Watch Culture, and today we are going to review the most hyped anime movie right now, Demon Slayer, Mugen Train. But before we hop into the details, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and share this video with your friends. Here I have a spoiler-free review and movie breakdown, so you can decide whether to watch the movie or not when it releases in your country. To start with, the movie begins right after the end of the last episode of Season 1. The frame opens with Tanjiro and his friends trying to board on the Demon Slayer train to find the next demon. The movie is set in a Mugen Train, and that is basically why it is named Demon Slayer Mugen Train. The most part of the movie is based in one of the longest train rides ever. One of the major highlights of the movie is the screen presence of Tanjiro. If you are a Tanjiro fan, you can rejoice his screen presence a lot. The movie shows how Tanjiro is reflecting back on his life with his siblings and important battles that add much more intensity, empathy, and emotional stability to his character. And if we are talking about screen presence, another impactful character, Rengoku, was unfortunately not given a well-articulated screen space. But still, the makers of the movie really did a marvelous job with developing Rengoku's character. They established his character by flashbacks and built up his avatar by highlighting his friendly personality in a dark story. It was a treat to look at an empathetic Tanjiro as an anti-stereotypical take from the shonen's main characters, due to his desire to fight being solely to find a cure to protect Nezuko. Speaking of Nezuko, she was back to being an adorable little squishy girl. However, apart from being adorable, there is nothing much you can expect from Nezuko's character. Her character lacks depth as well as space. Nezuko, though, gives quite a lot of support to Zenitsu's character. Zenitsu is screaming his lungs off, but this time it's noticeably more torn down, which is really a huge plus because it actually allowed the rest of his character to shine through Nezuko. Though the movie managed to hit the emotional core of its viewers, there are certain drawbacks too. First of all, Tanjiro didn't do anything directly in the movie. Apart from his screen presence, there is not much depth added to his role in the movie. In fact, in some scenes it seems that he has been dragged into the frames. Similarly, Inosuke was just there to lighten up the mood a little, and that's it. And lastly, the actual villain of the movie swayed away, leaving no impact on the viewers. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. I know you are all here to know how is the animation of the movie. Trust me on this, it was a good animation, but the problem is it was a good animation. The last 20 to 30 minutes of the movie were brilliantly animated. If I have to watch the movie all over again, I would do so only for the sake of the last 30 minutes. Initially, in 50 minutes of the movie, there is not much cinematic experience when it comes to the animation. However, gradually as the movie progressed towards the end and Rengoku's self-confrontation is portrayed, a huge animated excellence is witnessed. There was a subtle use of both 3D and 2D animation. It was evident that the digital team worked very hard on its dynamic 3D backgrounds. Though before now they have largely been used with minimal 2D assets, scenes were littered with 3D assets that, while looking good, were usually masked by filters and effects to give the illusion of 2D work. During certain key scenes, the landscapes, such as snow or the sun rising, were almost realistic, which has some key animation layered over the top of live-action photos or videos. This not only helped the scenes look spectacular, but helped to drive the emotional intensity of what was happening on screen. The movie differentiates itself from the TV anime by applying a film grain-like filter over the top of the entire film, which only helps in the comparison with the older Ghibli-style films, and adding to the older aesthetic of the setting of the franchise. The music of the film was quite impactful as well. Without the soundtrack, the movie wouldn't have had as much of an impact as it did. While they remixed a lot of the soundtrack from the TV anime, the new music created for the film had an almost haunting feel to it. The music was accentuated with what sounded like gospel singers, belting out hymns as the sun rose on the final battle. However, in some fighting scenes, the music was a little too intimidating as well. But the overall experience of music, animation, sound effects, CG backgrounds, and a combination of 2D and 3D graphics was quite a fascinating sight. As the movie only covers about 15 chapters of the manga, it could rather have been a good start to a second season. The movie could have left much more impact if it wasn't rushed in to fit a time frame of a few hours. In saying that, Demon Slayer Mugen Train adapts the manga story very closely, which is lucky for it, as the story is mostly self-contained, letting it be a good starting point for newcomers to the franchise. Another strange thing was that there were no after credits in the movie. The movie did an incredible job at taking everyone watching for an emotional ride through the next story of the anime adaptation of Koyoharu Gotoge's record-breaking manga series that ran in Weekly Shonen Jump. At last, do I suggest watching this movie? Well, if you're a Demon Slayer fan, then there is no way you are not going to watch it. However, for those of you who only stick to manga, you'll love some of the scenes in the film, especially the ones teasing what is to come in future arcs. If you're an animation fan and you only want to watch the movie, then yeah, Demon Slayer Mugen Train is a bit of a popcorn flick, but it's one that has heart and some of the best animation in anime today, from some of the best creators and teams in the industry. But I would still say that the movie wouldn't be as soulful if you hadn't watched the series or read the manga. Which movie review or breakdown do you want us to make in the future? Let us know in the comments down below. If you like this video, then make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more interesting videos in the future. Also, hit the bell icon to stay up to date and be the first one to watch our latest videos.